that proved to be a pretty effective strategy. I thought that was interesting because, of course, Joe Thuney was in the AFC West before, played and was in those O-line meetings, game planning for Max Crosby a lot over the years. So I didn't get a chance to talk to him yesterday, but that was another thing I was wondering. Just was that a Joe Thuney creation a little bit?
Shout out Joe Thuney. Everything's a Thuney creation, Hogue.
Well. And not to tease one more thing, but we had Kevin Clark on Hogan Johns this morning, and he told a great story about Trey Smith and Joe Thuney. So you might want to check that out because, Joe Thuney's just the epitome of consistent and has been so far through 4 games for the Chicago Bears.
And shout out Motor Music, Michael. Just Motor Music, while you're at your lunch break right now, just know that as much as I'm enjoying being here with Adam Hogue, I'd rather be in Vegas with you. You were good times. So until the next one, my brother.
No, we definitely had a great time with Motor Music, Michael. And we moved the show back to 1:00 today just for you, buddy. we got to keep on your schedule.
We did.
Yeah. All right. It is time, and Greg's not here to whine about it. We're going to talk about these stadium renderings that are out there. I do have some thoughts on them, and we're gonna go through what we're seeing here because. It's just time. Before we do that, one more break. We'll be right back after this. Hey, I want you to check out Monarch Money so that you can feel organized and confident in your finances. When you go to Vegas for a weekend, you need to get logged back into your Monarch Money as I did yesterday. Make sure everything's in order because it's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop or your phone. And right now, just for our listeners, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. So if you've been putting off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. You can categorize literally anything in here. It's got some smart categorization there for you. But if you have something specific, like, you were at the sports book in Vegas and you have the extra thing you put on Kansas that didn't work. Hey, create that category if you need to. Monarch lets you do it all, but keeps everything organized for you. It was named the best budgeting app of 2025 by the Wall Street Journal. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code CHGO at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code CHGO.
Nothing better than getting those finances in order. Thank you to Monarch Money, and thank you to our friends at Game Time. The Game Time app gives the advantage back to the fans. It is the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences. And if you are watching right now and you're thinking about going to Cubs Padres, unbelievable ticket prices right there on the Game Time app right now. $97 to sit in section 223, row 13. That's a great seat in between home and first. Unbelievable. That's why you do it. Game Time. Snag new ticket deals before anyone finds out by following your favorite teams in the Game Time app to receive the alerts. Take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets, MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code CHGO for $20 off your purchase. Again, create an account, use that redeem code CHGO, $20 off. You tap, you ticket, you go. Download the Game Time app today. Shout out to our friends at Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, your home for the judgment-free cannabis shopping that you deserve. It's a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore and discover and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your summer any time of year, for that matter. It's Illinois' favorite dispensary, and they've got expertly curated picks from their 100 strains that are all amazing. Visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. All you do is enter the promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions do apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 and older or Illinois medical card holders. For existing users, use that promo code CHGO50 for 50% off one Cresco Labs brand item.
Seen a couple notes here on Twitter to share with you. Jesse Rogers says, getting ready for game 2 between Cubs and Padres. By the way, our watch along coming up right after this. Make sure you're watching our Cubs crew throughout game 2. Says Andre Dawson's throwing out the first pitch, Carm. Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze will be in attendance from the Bears, as will Connor Bedard from the Blackhawks. And I'm offended that he left out that Week 4 hero Scott Daly will also be there.
Yeah, that's just wrong. Daly deserves top billing.
Right.
I mean, we're talk about the people that make things possible.
Well, the Bears were originally going to practice today, and Ben Johnson changed that. So I don't know if Ben Johnson's going to the game too. We'll find out. But I know a number of the players were very excited that I believe they only had a lift this morning and they could go down to Wrigley for game 2. So very, very exciting. We'll see if the Cubs can finish off the Padres today. And we're going to have you covered with the watch along on CHGO as well as post game as soon as the game is over. This is the place to be. All right. These stadium renderings came out for what felt like the 898th time. But I guess the one of inside the stadium might have been new. I don't know. I can't keep track of this. We're in football season, but it's time now at the bye week to take a look at these. So, Katie, I know I sent you a bunch of different stuff. Let's go through the renderings that came out. Architect David Manica, who is the same architect that did Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, where we literally just were a couple days ago. So welcome to Stadium, guys. Big glass entranceway. The original rendering when this was downtown, actually it was more glass, which I want to get into in a second. You flip to the next one. I don't know where the hell anybody's going to park, but
in the lagoon.
Yeah, with I'm sure they'll add all that later. Big circular stadium, and the inside, which I thought Adam Johns did a good job of just tweeting yesterday, looks exactly like where the Bears played on Sunday. Not exactly, but pretty darn close. So there it is. That's an actual picture of Allegiant Stadium that I took. Maybe we could just cycle back and forth between those two. I mean, seriously, there's the fake Bear Stadium. Here's the real Raiders Stadium. It's very, very similar, except, Carm, we were talking off air. One of the things that you noticed that I also noticed, there's way more like stacked suite levels, it looks like, in what the Bears are proposing on both sides. Not enough seats to me.
Yeah, so if you go back to let's do this in real time again here, Katie. Let's go to the Bears Stadium, and there it is. And you see, like, behind the end zone where I'm looking on the far end, you've got the seats on the 100 level there, let's call it, and then you've got the whatever that is, a bridge and glass. Now, if you go to the Raiders Stadium, you have the 100 level, and then you have the 300 level there, or 200 level, whatever you want to call it, as well.
200 and 300 level, yeah.
Right, for fans. And so there's more seats behind there, and then you've got the glasses. So, like, if you go back to the Bears Stadium along the sides, like, those just look like there's the 100 level, suite level. I see 4 suite levels, and then the top. So it's not enough seats, in my mind at least, closer to the field for the fans that can actually afford it. Because you know that those 100 level tickets, I think the worst thing about this for the standard fan is that the 100 level, you figure with the pricing, that's going to be corporate central. That's who's going to be buying. That's going to afford those tickets with the PCLs, whatever they're going to charge. So the real fans, that's a long way up, man. And I love football. I sat in the press box in Vegas, and we were at the very top, and you have a phenomenal view, and you don't need to be close for football. But I still would like to see the fans, not just the rich fans, have a little more access to feeling closer to the field. So I'm going to fight that fight here. And how are they going to?
I think it's a good fight, and I think there's a couple things here. Here's what I'm disappointed in, and part of it, I think, is just we've been, especially like maybe emotionally damaged here in this city with the stadiums that we screw up and don't get right, but especially when it comes to the Bears. I mean, we can also get into some of the money stuff. We don't have to do that, but I already saw some stories about the money and how they're asking for $855 million now in infrastructure, which I believe is more than the Soldier Field renovation even cost.
I mean, they need some good pipes to get that the plumbing situation orchestrated in the way that it needs to be orchestrated for for the bathrooms to operate. So $855 million seems like a fair price for that. I'm kidding, but
Yeah,
it's a lot.
It's just,
But it's interesting though, and Hogue, you've been dialed in on this more than I have on the back end of it. Is that going to fly? $855 million?
well, that's. I want to keep this conversation more to what these renderings look like and what the stadium looks like, because. But
I know, but
I don't know. I think it's very questionable that they're going to get this thing to pass next month, or now this month. It is October, but that's why this stuff's being pushed on us now.
Yeah, look, and go on further. Kevin Warren, this is your baby. Make it your baby. Don't make it Las Vegas's baby. Let's get cool.
And so can we show the outside version again, the one where you could see the whole stadium and then 0 parking lots? Okay, it's fine. To me, that there's nothing about that stadium that, I don't know. It looks like it's from Star Wars or something. Like what?
That does look like the Millennium Falcon right there in the middle.
Which is what people say about the Vegas stadium too. It's just, to me, there's nothing unique about it. SoFi is unique. You go in it and you're like, wow, I've never been in a stadium like this before. And then what's kind of stunning to me about this, and we've talked about this a million times, and I'm going to show you some photos of US Bank Stadium here. US Bank Stadium is awesome. Everything about it is awesome. It's loud. It looks cool. It's unique. The views inside are great. It's bright. So one of the things I do like is in the renderings we've been showing, they are doing like sort of the transparent roof to allow light in, brightness. I'm going to quibble a little bit. It's making it bright. It's not actually natural daylight though. And I'm going to show you the difference here. And I felt the same way we were in the Raider Stadium the other day. I like that it was bright because there's too many of these older domes that just are dark and dingy, and they'll look the same on TV too, which matters. But the US Bank Stadium lets natural daylight in. So let's go through some of these photos. Okay, we can kind of do it, I guess, in any order, but maybe. So yeah, here. If you look at the way it's designed, the one half of it is actually more covered and kind of dark, but the other half. If Katie, the next one we can show is actually go back to the Raiders photo that I sent you. So look at how in the Raiders one, where the end zone glass is clear. You can see clear blue sky, but the roof is just sort of 40% transparent. I don't know what it actually is, but it's letting in some light, but it looks more like the old Metrodome with like the white bubbly roof rather than natural daylight. Go back to the Vikings one, though, and I actually know some of this about these panels. That is 60% transparent, and you see how you can actually see clouds? You see how you can actually see blue sky? To me, that matters. That is why when you're inside that stadium, you feel like you're still outside when it's 5 degrees out. So I have some other photos here of the actual paneling, because I took a tour with my son a couple of years ago in Minnesota. That is the actual paneling that is in the roof. And you can see it's like, I don't remember the exact material, but like when things hit it, it bounces off. And it's a little bit, I left my son in one of those photos, so even though he's bending down sort of for scale. And it's just different when you're in there. You feel like you're in a unique stadium when you're in there. And can you show the Super Bowl photo too? Because I covered the Patriots Eagles Super Bowl. This is at 3:00 in the afternoon. I even checked the time my phone took this photo. It was 2:57 in the afternoon. Look at that natural sunlight that's coming in on half of the seats, even on a day in February where the sun's going down pretty early. And I think it was 5 degrees outside. You're in this nice warm stadium with actual sunlight coming in. That is not what they're showing in these renderings with the Bears. And look at that glass, and the end zone glass goes way higher in the sky. And those doors, people don't realize, behind where it says US Bank Stadium and the Jumbotron back there, where the big banner is of Tom Brady, There are these massive, like 5-story doors that actually open and let in air from the outside when it's nice out in September, and even if you have a nice day in October, like we're going to have this weekend. So that is like a unique thing that they did in Minnesota that was different from any other stadiums. I'm not seeing that with these renderings the Bears put out. It just looks like a cookie cutter 2025 NFL stadium that looks exactly like the Raiders one. And Carm, I don't know how you felt. I know I'm talking a lot right now, but inside that stadium the other day, and that's the second time I've been there, actually technically the third because we covered media night in there when for the Super Bowl, but not the game. It's fine. You're in that. It's fine. It's an okay sort of cool stadium. I don't think it's going to age as well, though, as US Bank Stadium and SoFi in LA as well.
Yeah, I think the operative word is fine. It's fine. And my experience being there was a fine one. Like, but there's no, to what a little wasted is saying, a man of supreme character. He's right. There is no character. 0.0. And what's kind of bizarre to me, just trying to figure out how we got to this point, Kevin Warren, you did Minnesota. You saw how cool that is. Like, don't you want to bring that here? Bears fans would love that. And I love like in that photo, like the upper end zone corner, insane, terrible, but yet amazing seat, like up there by the paneling and the sun. Those seats look amazing for the diehard to go up there and have some RC Colas and Miller Lights and whatever else and have a great time and be, close to God up there, the God of football. So, look, I know you still got time over there, Bears. Do something cool. Your fans deserve it. You deserve it. The McCaskies deserve it. The next generation of McCaskies, do it for them. I don't know. This is, it'll be, everybody knows that no matter what the stadium is, they're going to show up and it's going to be sold out and they're going to pay ridiculous prices and everyone's going to pay by that point $22 a beer and all the things. But it'd be cool if it was cool.
A couple comments here too. Motor Music Michael said it looks like a vacuum robot. It does kind of look like a Roomba.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with his other comment too. Make a stadium architecture that represents the Chicago skyline or the history of industry. Nothing in that screams Chicago. It screams Vegas Stadium. Philip had a comment to a couple. I forget what it was, a couple though, but I wanted to respond to it too. There was whatever he said. We just had it up. I lost my train of thought. But look, I will say the Raiders Stadium. The one piece of thing where you're in there and you're like, I'm not going to get this anywhere else, is that glass in the end zone with the fake flame. It does look right out the Luxor and the New York, and you could see the Vegas Strip behind it. Like, okay, like I'll give them that. But other than that, the rest of the stadium is just, it's a room stadium. Like Little Wasted said, a room stadium.
Yeah. And a lot of people do the cookie cutter stuff too. Like if I go back to the NBA, like when Indiana built their thing, they did Gainbridge Fieldhouse. They made it cool, man. They thought outside the box. Bottom line, and also in the Minnesota thing, you have more seats on the side, and the two sides were different. I don't know. I'm gonna remain optimistic that this is not done, but it feels done.
Well, what you just said is important, though. Okay, here's Philip's comment. He says they need to dig down 3 stories and build up 5. Won't look so big outside, and it'll be a hell of a game atmosphere. That's what they did at SoFi. If you walk up to SoFi, it doesn't look like it's that tall. You just sort of see this big canopy that's very unique. Again, I'm going to keep using that word, unique. You don't see that anywhere else. You see it in L.A. We don't need a copy that, like, exactly. But you walk in, and I think you're actually on like the 300 or 400 level when you walk in that stadium, and you get to the edge and you look down and you're like, holy crap, that goes down forever. And it's a super cool way to walk into a stadium.
And look, just in general, and this might be an unpopular take, but in Chicago, we've just done a terrible job with stadiums. The only thing that's good that's happened here in my lifetime is that Wrigley Field has stayed and they renovated it. And as much as I missed day baseball when I was for the real old hats here, they did a great job putting lights on, and then they did a great job putting suites in there. And I don't even mind the scoreboards or anything. Like, Wrigley Field is Wrigley Field. But the United Center compared to Chicago Stadium sucks. And Comiskey Park, Rate Field compared to Old Comiskey ain't the same. So, like, it's just we haven't done it, and people hated on the new Soldier Field. That's actually the best job that anybody's done. As bizarre as it was, at least it stayed in the lakefront, and you had the columns, and you had this spaceship thing for people to talk about. And there's not a bad seat in that place.
All right, don't go anywhere. We're gonna hit overtime. We got something special to share with you here. All right. Overtime here on CHGO Bears. And one tiny little thing too, because you hinted at it. Like, I promise you that Viking Stadium has plenty of suites, because the suites are important. It's huge for corporate. But
of course,
are built into the stands that are already existed there. They're not so. The way that the renderings came out, it's like stacked, like almost like a 4-story building of suites. It reminds me of San Francisco or Santa Clara, the 49ers stadium out there, how one side of it just, I don't know. Just kind of really disappointed with it. All right. Well, appreciate everybody hearing me out on the stadium stuff. I care about it a lot, and I want them to get it right. Anyway, there was something that we wanted to share with you tonight in case you're interested in. This was, this sounds actually kind of cool, because we always love to talk about this. One of our favorite games ever, the 2026 comeback win over the Cardinals on Monday Night Football. They are who we thought they were game. Our guy Kyle Brandt and Omaha Productions, they always do great stuff, hilarious stuff. They have this new series coming out. It's a new Manning cast style series from Vice Sports and Peyton Manning's Omaha Productions behind this. They've been doing this show where it's called NFL Classics After Further Review, where they go back and they basically rewatch a game, and they talk about it as it's unfolding, kind of Manning style, Manning cast style. So airing tonight, October 1st, tonight, as we're recording this, at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern on Vice TV. They got an episode featuring Kyle Brandt, Sebastian Maniscalco, Chicago comedian, hilarious, and Brian Urlacher. And here's a little snippet from what you're going to see tonight if you tune in.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Sebastian, he's just cooking up there. What is it like to watch that for you?
Hey, listen, I like when people have raw emotion. I'm just trying to figure out, still to this day, they are who we thought they were. Who did you think they were? Who are they? Do we know? Do we have any confirmation on this?
They beat us in the preseason game 3, Sebastian. So I think he thought that they thought that we were that team that they beat in the 3rd game of preseason. Does that make sense?
That's it.
Nah.
I guess the regular season.
Unless you have a total command of the Arizona Cardinals preseason in 2006, it's nonsensical.
There you go.
But Brian gave the best explanation I have heard.
NFL Classics After Further Review. Wednesdays at 9, only on Vice TV.
So again, that episode airing tonight, if you want to check it out, at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Should be fun. I love that game, so I will. I'll be checking it out. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
I love how Sebastian asked that question, because it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense as much as we talk about it.
I love Urlacher raising his hand there and answering the question. And Kyle Brandt's awesome. That thing's going to be fantastic. And for those listening, by the way, if you're not a subscriber on YouTube, we're 738 away as we're putting on our screen here. So we're closing in. If you're not a subscriber, Monday through Friday at noon or 1, it's been moving around a little bit with, Ben and the new schedules here, but we're on every day. And then, of course, Monday, pre and post game after every game and breaking news, turn those notifications on. That's going to be awesome. All right, you want to hear my tearful goodbye here?
Yes, I do. All right, let's go.
So, I grew up playing all sports, but my family was always big into tennis. My brother played in college, and McEnroe and Lendl and all that was on the TV, and it was always I just didn't really know that going to the U.S. Open was something that was actually pretty damn affordable to do. But I figured that out in my mid-30s. So I've been going since 2013. And I've seen a ton of great players, 3 feet in front of me. But no one has ever caught my just enjoyment, who I've looked forward to seeing every year, more than Gael Monfils, the Frenchman, who's been doing it since 18 and now 39. Oldest guy ever to win an ATP tournament, older than Federer. I got up to number 6 in the world, made the semis of a bunch of Grand Slams. Monfils, Hogue, was the greatest entertainer, competitor, just so much fun to watch, leaping through the air, through the legs, just, you think the points over the whole thing, and just on your feet rooting for a guy. I'm going to miss him. So this is his last year. He announced he's retiring this year. We'll see him one more time. But Chanton, you got it right. Gael Monfils is one of the greatest sports entertainers I've ever witnessed in my life, and a phenomenal dude. It's a lot of heartfelt things, and I'm going to miss watching that guy play. So this feels like a little part of my tennis childhood is going to pass away here at the end of 2026. And now I held it together pretty well, but I love you, Gael. You're the man.
You did. And that's very heartfelt, and I could tell that really matters to you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, for the rest of us that have no idea what you're talking about, I thought he was dead the way you were just talking.
No, he's not dead.
I thought we're going to miss him. I'm like, oh, no, he's gone.
Well, he's not dead. He's going to go on and do a million great things. But, it's a sports death. When they retire, get to,
Just the way you set that up, I was like, what happened?
Oh, my bad. Well, no, he ain't dead. He's just retiring. But
Okay.
That's it was a ton of fun. I loved it. So go Cubs, go indeed. Apostle, we can get on out of here, but shout out to Monfils and all the tennis fans out there that are feeling the same way as I am today. I think there's at least 3 of them in this thing. My guy Callum Turney, who hooked me up with the Wimbledon tickets. If you're still out there, I know you share what I'm thinking.
All right, we got to get over to the Cubs channel. Actually, I think the watch along's right here on CHGO. So don't just flip on over to that link. The watch along going for Cubs Padres game 2. Caleb Williams in attendance, Roma Dunze in attendance, Connor Bedard in attendance. Cubs got to win. They just do. Hey, real quick though, make sure later on in the day after all the Cubs stuff, and make sure you watch Cubs post game. Please hit the subscribe button here. You can head on over to the Hogan Johns channel or check out the podcast. We had a great conversation with Kevin Clark and from Omaha, by the way, and also we just did a really sort of more in-depth dive of where Caleb Williams is at here after 4 games. Going into the buy. And yes, we need to get super chats. Carmi V's on tomorrow's show too. I should mention that right back here, 1:00 on CHGO Bears.
Let's go.
We did not forget about supers. We kind of did for 2 seconds. Let's get to them though. Whatever order you want to throw them up. There we go. Brandon Towery, $10. Sorry for the negativity lately. Just frustrated with the Bears. LOL. Y'all are doing great. And your Vegas coverage was top notch. Bear down.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you, Brendan.
You're the man. You don't have to apologize for anything.
Matthew Gregory, $10. Nick Wright at CHGO is the greatest thing that ever happened to Matt Gregory.
That's very nice of you, Matt Gregory. I know you're a big Nick fan, and we appreciate your support, brother.
Yeah, that's awesome. We love having Nick on the show. Now we got to get Danny on to forget Arm and get him on. Donnie, R578, $2 is at Nick Wright, Carm, Goat, Jordan Goat. LeBum has 3 fake titles. Just taking shots at Nick. Love it. And Craig Leach, our guy Craig, $20. Hi, CHGO. It's been a great bye week so far. High spirits are abound.
Leach with the new avatar.
Yeah. The intense Ben Johnson. And Bragg's in the stands, $2. Just missed a hole-in-one by inches at Bally High. Nobody cares. Hope you're having a great week.
As if we're supposed to know what Bally High is. Settle down. Congratulations on hitting a good shot, though. That's fantastic. We're proud of you.
He didn't say how many inches. And Might have been 130, but
I mean, he posted a photo of him smoking a cigar overlooking some pool, said he's not coming back. So I'm assuming he's not coming back.
you promise?
Are you sure? Because we'll organize the party if you are.
Bro,
We
delicious
love
$5.
you.
If the new stadium looks like the Millennium
Dalkin.
Falcon,
Millennium Falcon.
Okay, they're in there.
That's funny, bro. Delicious. If the new stadium looks like the Millennium Falcon, they should replace Staley with Chewbacca. Chewbacca.
Chewbacca. It's good. Chewbacca. God, I hope they fix that stadium. I am. Just get rid of the roof then and build what they have in Tottenham if that's what you're going to do. It's just, okay. On to the Cubs. Go, Cubs, go.
There it is. There.
Go, Cubs, go.
The condescending
We
go
need
Cubs.
you to win a playoff series so we can keep having more shows. All right.
Go Bears. I mean, Cubs.
We'll talk to you tomorrow right here. 1 p.m. CHGO Bears. Carmi V joins the show. Pat Norton's going to be around too. We'll talk to you then.
Y'all silly like the mayor.
If you're looking for new ways to get ahead, then you're our company. And we help learners like you upskill in AI, productivity, leadership and management, and more. Learn at your own pace from real-world experts. You can also prep for certifications that show employers what you know. Upskill for the career you want at udemy.com. Now, back to your regularly scheduled listening.
Imagine if today was the day your idea changed someone's life. Imagine if you could help someone pay for college, help your community build a new playground, or help a child make it to that dream competition. With GoFundMe, it's all possible. GoFundMe is the world's #1 fundraising platform trusted by over 190 million people. Every week, ordinary people meet their goals and do extraordinary things. Your ideas matter. GoFundMe isn't just for emergencies. Want to raise money for your kid's soccer team or raise funds for a small business, a creative project, or event? GoFundMe helps you turn ideas into reality. And help adds up. Fundraisers you start for someone else raise up to 5 times more. So think right now, who could use your help? Change rarely comes from waiting. It comes from someone deciding, today I'll start. Don't wait for someone else to bring change. Today, start your fundraiser in just minutes at GoFundMe.com. That's GoFundMe.com to start your fundraiser. GoFundMe.com. This is a commercial message brought to you by GoFundMe.
You just realized that you needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job posts seen on other job sites. Indeed sponsored jobs help you stand out and hire fast. With sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates so you can reach the people that you want faster. And it makes a huge difference. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Plus, with Indeed sponsored jobs, there's no monthly subscriptions, no long-term contracts, and you only pay for results. How fast is Indeed? Well, in the minute I've been talking to you, 23 hires were made on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/BWN. Just go to Indeed.com/BWN right now and support our show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/BWN. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
The bye week rolls on. We are still sort of dissecting the first 4 games of the season and looking ahead to the rest of it. We're going to talk best and worst case scenarios with our old friend Carmi V on today's show. Plus, Pat Norton is here with me. We got a fun one coming up before. We'll see if the Cubs can take care of the Padres later on today. Right now, it's all football. CHGO Bears. This is the CHGO Bears podcast presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code CHGO365 and you sign up. Whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Welcome into a Thursday edition of the show as we get through the bye week. I've been abandoned by our entire team, but this is why we have Pat Norton here, and we have Katie Duffy on the other side of the wall here, the fourth wall, not a literal wall, and she's doing a great job all week long. Pat's been grinding away at House Hall all season, so we thought this was a great opportunity for him to come in and kind of give his thoughts on what's been going on so far this season. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm not as
Back
good as
in the rhythm.
Yeah, I'm not as good as Greg Braggs apparently is. I know a lot of people are wondering where he is, where Steven is. We are too. We did apparently get some security cameras inside some place in Las Vegas. We're having secret videos sent to us from people that I think are still, tracking Braggs in
I think that's
Las
a fair
Vegas,
way to put it.
which is very scary. So anyway, this was sent to us. This was apparently last night. I don't know where it is, somewhere in Vegas. And
I like to think that he missed his flight. He's actually not supposed to be up there.
Well, they did announce his name at the gate on Monday, looking for it.
Oh, that's good.
So he kind of actually technically did miss his flight.
That's good.
And he's just never going to leave Las Vegas. Oh, I saw in the background, the D. That was awkward, but that hotel is actually called the D. You can see it there in the top corner. That's a Circa.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Circa property. That's where we stayed at the Super Bowl. So he's outside on Fremont Street.
Okay.
That's line
tracks.
dancing, right? That's what's happening there?
He's dancing to the boot, scoot, and boogie.
Well, what he's doing is not line dancing.
Right.
What everybody else is doing.
Everybody else is dancing to the boot, scoot, and boogie.
Got it. Anyway, we got a fun show for you today. Carmi V, our old friend, we're going to talk to her. Actually, Mark Carman and I had a chance to pre-record a lengthy interview with her yesterday. Carm is off today for Yom Kippur. And we're going to jump right in with a little bit of Caleb Williams talk off the top. And honestly, Pat, you've been in there. You've been around the team. I wanted to get your thoughts even before we get to some of this Caleb stuff. Just on what you've observed from your reporting. And I should also mention, if you don't subscribe to this guy's newsletter, we're all going to come get you. Because this man does the best newsletter in town. It's not even close. It's allchgo.com/newsletter, right?
Yeah, newsletter.
If you just do that, you can sign up. Just give him. It's completely free. Put your email address in there.
Completely free. You'll get it every morning at 7 o'clock, every weekday morning.
Yeah.
And it'll also link out. It'll have everything that you need to know from Hogue, from Johns, from everybody who's writing. So
yeah,
good stuff.
And most days he is at House Hall, aside Johns and myself, grinding away. So what have you observed from the Bears' first 4 games?
I think that something that should be mentioned is the fact that Caleb Williams is, we're talking about his growth on the field. I think there's an off the field element to him too that deserves some credit, and that's just kind of how he's handling himself. And everybody wants to say, okay, well, his press conferences, here's looking at you, Carm. Oh, sure, he could use PR training. Oh, sometimes it comes across as word salad. But I think that really kind of what Caleb has conveyed to us so far this year has all been very meaningful. And even when it almost feels like he's trying to downplay his own successes, which is, to me, the mark of a decent quarterback and a decent leader, really, in that room. Katie, we have a clip where he's asked about how the book on the Bears so far this season has been, or not this season, but just in general in history, has been their inability to win these close games, and what Sunday in Vegas, meant to him, and if the team was able to rally around him, if we could play that.
I think for myself, how did it make me feel? I haven't been here too long, and so I It didn't. That's the history of the Bears. Obviously, last year we had a couple of those where we just couldn't finish the game, whether it was defense stopping them, offense going back out and not scoring, or us going down scoring, and whatever case or however case may have went. So I've been a part of a few of. So myself, it's just trying to find ways to help the guys to have the confidence, have the belief, and I think that stems from the coach. Obviously, his belief and trust in us that I spoke about after we lost is still the same, if not grown, even after the win. So his faith, his belief, his trust in us goes a long way, and those moments that those nut cutting moments that showed up in the game, where it was us having to march down the field and go score, defense stopping them at least long enough to get a long field goal, and then obviously special teams coming on and executing a great play.
I think Ben Johnson he said it well. He said this a few times now, but even sort of as a reset going into the bye, it's nice having Caleb Williams, the fourth quarter, the 2-minute drill, this sort of hero ball guy, always in your back pocket. Because that's the thing we know about him. And that's Nick Wright talked about this on the show yesterday with us. It's the stuff that you can't teach. Things are great to have. That's not what you have to be working on with Caleb Williams. And so it's awesome to know that, just look at Sunday. Didn't go well for a lot of that game. But when he needed it, first of all, early third quarter after the takeaway, when they finally needed to take advantage of one of those takeaways and not just settle for a field goal, he comes out with this ridiculous anticipatory throw to Rome Odunze over the middle, drops it in the bucket, insane throw. The end zone angle shows it all. The all-22 angle shows the anticipation because Rome's not even come out of his break. So just the wow moments like that. But also, being in that stadium on Sunday, there wasn't this sense of dread when the Bears are down, they need a drive, even though things have been going well. I'm standing there in the 300 level going, all right, I don't have the doubts they're going to score. I have the doubts that they're going to score too soon, and the Raiders are going to have a chance to score and win the game, which is actually what ended up happening, except the Bears blocked the field goal. Thank goodness. What I'm encouraged by, I guess me saying all that is because the quarterback has the talent and the skill to be able to pull out more of these fourth quarter games that have been going the other way. The DJ Moore, we played this for you on yesterday's show if you missed it, said the same thing. While he's been here, the only other game like that he could recall that they actually won was the 12-10 victory on Monday Night Football in Minnesota 2 years ago. It was not a particularly great game. I mean, if you want to claim that Sunday's game in Vegas wasn't necessarily the prettiest win of all time, well, that one in Minnesota a couple years ago was even uglier. But the reality is in the NFL, you are going to have games like that, no matter how good you are. And so instead of just feeling lucky about it, what I like was that Caleb hung in there, even though that wasn't his prettiest game. I like that the defense hung in there. I like that the offensive line hung in there in a game that they weren't particularly playing well across the board, but survived against Max Crosby. The defense made the stop when they needed to, and then special teams went out there and got the big block that they needed. So when Ben Johnson calls it a character win or a cultural win, however you want to put it, I think there's a strong argument that that's exactly what it was.
Right, and there are two things that kind of stick out to me there. And one of them is throughout the entirety of Matt Eberflus's tenure in Chicago, it was about how this team needed to play complementary football. And it never actually happened. We heard it talked about a lot, but it never actually happened. You'd see it every once in a while. You're seeing that 4 games into Ben Johnson's tenure, and that's a very good sign. And that's also that's what separates an okay team from a good team, or a good team to an even better team, are the teams that, you're in the game late, sure, but you have to be able to win those, at least occasionally. And looking back at last year's schedule, I mean, this schedule is riddled with games that they were in and even had a lead in late or came back in late and had a chance to win and then couldn't get out of their own way. And it's why, to me, Caleb Williams is downplaying his own role in that clip by saying, oh, well, it's the history of the Bears, whatever. And you were a part of this too. You were a part of this last year in Washington or against Green Bay last year when a blocked field goal went against you, or even in Minnesota in overtime the next week. And then the week after that is the Thanksgiving Day game, and we all know how that went and what came after that. I mean, that's a tough stretch of games to overcome, and you could make an argument that Caleb put that on tape again at the end of last year against Green Bay in Green Bay. But then week 1 this year is almost a reversion to that backwards thought of, well, they were in it late and then it just kind of slipped away. To me, that win in week 4, whether or not you want to say, well, shoot, Caleb did a lot, but he didn't do enough just because they wouldn't have won without the Josh Blackwell block, but they did win. Like that's a big step for them. That's a big step for him too.
The Raiders were a pretty desperate team, too, in that game
right.
As well. So you got to take that into account. They were returning home from a bad loss. So there were some things going against the Bears. I also don't think the Raiders are an awful football team.
No.
And they got a pretty good coach. Over there as well. All right, we're going to take a timeout a little bit earlier than normal because we want to fit this entire somewhat long, lengthy, good conversation with our friend Carmi V. Of course, you can hear her on Marquee, Fox Sports Radio. She does a great job. She's been in here with CHGO basically since we launched 3 years ago. So we're going to have a fun conversation with Carmi V coming up next. Don't go anywhere. But first,
with the Bet365 early payout offer, you're a winner if your team goes up by 17 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. Download the app and use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Thursday Night Football, they've got a $10 safety net bet. Sunday Night Football, they've got a $365,000 jackpot. And on Monday Night Football, a 50% super profit boost token on same-game parlays. Breaking news from Bet365. Playoff season is here, and new customers now get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up. Use the code CHGO365. Deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER in-app only.
And it might be 80 degrees here in Chicago on October 2nd, but I promise you winter is coming. It's going to be here before you know it. Usually there's like a switch. It just flips. We skip fall, we go from summer to winter. Make sure your furnace is ready. Make sure your home's heating is up for the challenge. Also, if you got a plumbing emergency, call Four Seasons. An electrical emergency, call Four Seasons. If you need a hot water tank installed today, call Four Seasons. Now's the time to schedule your Four Seasons furnace tune-up. They got you covered with same-day installation for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, and generator needs with no extra charge for nights, weekends, and holidays. Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric has been serving Chicagoland for over 50 years. Your trusted local experts are Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit FourSeasonsHeatingCooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's FourSeasonsHeatingCooling.com. Seeing a bunch of our, we call them Vegas diehards now in the chat today. Shout out to Crystal. Shout out to Motor Music Mike. Shout out to Nico. I think there's a few others in there. It was awesome seeing everybody in person out there in Las Vegas. Please hit the like button if you are in here. Please subscribe. You might be saying, why are we doing a Bears show on Thursday of the bye week? Because that's what we do here. We don't stop.
You don't stop. I mean, Carm and Braggs aren't here, and
I would have stopped if anybody else was around here, but they're not. So, yeah, we're grinding away. Carmen will be back tomorrow, too. We'll have another show for you Friday at 1 p.m. And a bunch of stuff going on today here at CHGO because it's not just Bears that we do here. We got you covered with all of our sports teams. And of course, game 3 with the Cubs and Padres, we have your live watch along going on, just like the last 2, which have been a lot of fun. Check it out. 4:00 today, a little bit of a later game, so 4:00, and then they'll have you covered on CHGO Cubs post game as soon as the game is over as well. For now, we're going to keep it rolling with the Bears. We have this pre-recorded conversation with our friend Carmi V. Mark Carman joined me for this. Check it out right now. Here she is, Carmi V. Okay, let's bring in Carmi V. Follow her on Twitter. Of course, at Carmi V. Watch her on Marquee. That all rhymed. I didn't know it would. Welcome in, Carmi. It's good to have you on the show again, as always. Thank you.
Yeah, it's always fun. It's always fun to be here.
I miss you. Greatest After Dark show ever. Take that, Greg Braggs. I don't care what you're doing on that show.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. It was better when we were. That's okay. I understand. Management has to make tough decisions, and these things happen. But those were the days.
They were.
I'm
fun.
kidding. I know you had other more important things and yada yada. And it's not a competition. It's all love. Back to you.
I look back on those days. I look back on those days fondly.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
To take people behind the scenes, as I like to do, Carm right before we started the interview, Carm goes, "Go ahead and ask this first Hogue." Before I get the first question, total.
No,
I know.
I live in the moment.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, let's actually talk football here, Carmi. That's why you're here. Not to rank our shows at CHGO.